Come on, girls. Come on. Come on, out you come. Come on. Oh, g'day. Sorry about that. I just thought, I'm out in the backyard doing something that I haven't done in a while. I was wondering when you guys would show up. Look, I'll tell you what, I'll just finish off with the chooks and I'll be back inside. Welcome back. I know, again, it's been a very long time between videos, and I wanted to start out this one by just sort of not so much apologising again, because I know I can only apologise so much and you guys will keep believing it for so long. It's more sort of a re-evaluation of what I hope to achieve with this video series. My work has changed a little bit recently in terms of my starting hours and my availability for doing these videos. I only really have an opportunity to do it less than half of the time, and there's been a lot of things coming up in the rest of my life that have been restricting me from doing it. So I'd like you guys to know I am still very much keen on doing this video series, and I will keep doing it into the future. I just probably won't be able to do it as often as I'd like. So at this stage, I hope every second week I should put out 2 videos. That's the hope, and that's what I will be doing hopefully in the future. The one exception to that is the immediately following week from now. We're actually going away for a period of time, so I won't really be able to do anything. I'm going to hopefully put out a video. It might not be related to this particular game. We will see. So yeah, that's how I'd like to start today. I also had a question from the last video from Wolf Corbett. He asked the interaction with the skeletons in the pit trap when Wilhelm was escaping. Should the skeletons have actually been penalised for moving through the pit trap? And the answer is no, they shouldn't. The rules specifically state that monsters are not penalised by any traps on the board. They can move as if they weren't there and they don't set them off. So probably, yeah, as I said when I responded to him on YouTube, probably not all that fair, but that's the way the rules go. Alright, we'll move straight on with the start of the game. And so we blow a layer of dust off the board and pick up where we left off at the end of turn 8. As you remember, the elf and the dwarf are engaged with a goblin in the room in the north east, and fortunately Barabel was able to come to Wilhelm's assistance and help him out of his jam with the skeletons, but you'll remember that they didn't really get out of trouble. There's still quite a lot going on down here. So we'll start as we normally do with Elroyce. So Elroyce and Lothario are both rather keen to dispatch this goblin so they can search the room for traps and treasure. So Elroyce is going to move up and he's going to attempt to attack the goblin. So we'll roll 2 combat dice and he manages to score a skull there, so now the goblin's going to have to defend itself. We remember that goblins have a defend of 1 dice, so rolling 1 dice. The goblin does not manage to defend itself and is destroyed. Now Lothario was going to help out Elroyce in her turn, but obviously now that the goblin is dead, what she's going to do now is instead search for secret doors and traps. If she doesn't find any there, what she'll then do is search for treasure. So she's going to search for secret doors and traps first, and she finds that there is no secret doors or traps in this room. Next thing that she does is search for treasure. Now when she searches for treasure, she looks around, opens up the chest in the corner of the room, and inside the chest she finds a crossbow. The crossbow allows you to roll 3 combat dice in attack. You may not use the crossbow against an opponent who is adjacent to you. It costs 350 gold coins, may not be used by the wizard, and it is a weapon. So they now have a weapon. Now this weapon, as it says quite clearly, it can't actually be used if you're adjacent. So what that means is that if you can see an enemy, if you have a line of sight to an enemy, then you can attack it from wherever you are. So that's going to be quite useful. At the moment we'll give it to Lothario because she found it. And that is the end of the turn of the 2 up in the north. So we will now move down to the wizard and the barbarian. And we return down to the Wilhelm show. Now, as we remember, Wilhelm's salvation was not all that long-lived. He did get some healing from Barabel, but was then very promptly bashed around the head by some skeletons. So what he's going to do in this turn is he's going to attempt to kill the skeleton here in the south, and then he's going to run beyond Barabel and run down the corridor, try and get himself some distance away from these skeletons. So the first thing he's going to do is attack the skeleton in the door, remembering that as the barbarian he gets to roll 3 combat dice, because he's no longer standing in a pit. Oh, and we've got a knocked dice there, so we'll re-roll that one. And that's pretty solidly hit there. That's three skulls. So the skeleton can only defend with 2 dice, so no matter what it does, it's going to be destroyed. So that skeleton gets killed. And now Wilhelm will move his allotment of 7 points of movement down the hallway. Now Barabel's the only character who hasn't actually taken any damage yet, so he's feeling rather bold. So he's going to step forward and he's going to have a regular attack against this skeleton. As the wizard, he's not particularly well versed in combat, so he gets to roll 1 combat dice to attack. And he still manages to roll a skull. So now the skeleton's going to have a go to defend itself. It rolls 2 combat dice in defense. And the skeleton doesn't manage to defend itself, so that one is killed also. Alright, well that ends a rather productive turn for the heroes. Now we'll move on to the wizard's turn. And as the Dark Wizard this turn, there's not a lot I can do. There is only 1 monster left on the board, so I'll move the skeleton up to the door here, and it'll have a swing through at the wizard. Skeletons attack with 2 combat dice. And I've managed to score 1 hit there, so now the wizard will be able to defend. Wizards get 2 combat dice in defense. And it does not manage to defend the hit, so Barabel takes 1 point of damage. And so we come to the end of another turn. I am getting a little bit sick of saying it, but another great turn for the heroes. Significantly reduced the enemy presence on the board in that turn. There's not a whole lot more for me to say, so we'll see you again in turn 10. My name's Tinny, and thank you again for watching Tortuga.